This is CNN Breaking News.
I'm Will Flitzer, and you're in the Situation Room. Happening now, breaking news. The State University of New York is hosting a conversation about the forces shaping the future of higher education.
Nancy Zimpher says that SUNY is not only headed in the right direction, she calls it a model for other states.
SUNY Chancellor Nancy Zimpher believes the state's teacher shortage is a serious issue. That's why she's teamed up with the State Education Department Commissioner to promote their Teach New York campaign. In the long term, they hope their campaign can influence more students to teach the next generation.
American astronaut Scott Kelly is back on Mother Earth after almost a year on board the International Space Station. Kelly pumped his fist and gave cameras a thumbs up after he and two Russian cosmonauts landed in the Kazakhstan desert late Tuesday.
Take a look, a live look, in fact, at the pictures from the Pride March, still going strong tonight. More than 1 million people gathered in the streets of New York City to take part in this year's event.
Students in Binghamton University's 20-to-1 program teaming up with fraternities across campus to help victims of sexual and domestic violence. 100 comfort kits being donated to shelters across the state through SUNY's Got Your Back program.
Everyone has their biases, but experts say it's all about examining them with a critical lens. 25 SUNY police officers are learning how to overcome those implicit biases and not let them affect their work. It's called Fair and Impartial Training, and it's gaining popularity across the country.
SUNY campuses have banned the box as of Wednesday. Soon, all 64 campuses will no longer require student applicants to disclose prior felony convictions when applying to school.
It's much easier to donate bone marrow than it used to be, but finding a match is a completely different story. Students at SUNY Poly were trying to solve that problem today and save a life.
It's in, and that'll do it. Albany, for the first time in program history, advances in the women's tournament.
Stony Brook took over the entire America East on Saturday. They clinched an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament for the first time in school history.
Beginning this fall, SUNY Cobleskill students can major in therapeutic horsemanship. Through coursework, students learn how to help clients overcome physical and emotional challenges.
SUNY Potsdam officially opening new offices for the school's Center for Applied Learning with a ribbon cutting on Wednesday. The center, the first of its kind in the SUNY system, brings together several school offices in one location.
It is also SUNY Day here at the fair. So what does that mean? Fairgoers can learn about applying to a SUNY campus or reconnecting with their alma mater. The booth can also be found just outside the Science and Industry building. You might even have a chance to take a selfie with SUNY Chancellor Nancy Zimpher.
We have to make sure that people at all levels of government understand that higher education isn't just another expense, it's an investment in our future, and we have to make that investment.
We need to reach into every community in the country and convince them of the need for this work, of the need for a new national vision for education, for the how and the who and the when and the what for. And with that vision rooted in our collective consciousness, with new tools in our kit, create policy that empowers us to make that vision real for everyone. After all, it's on us. My name is Nancy Zimpher, and I approve this message. Thank you.
I approve everything Nancy Zimpher says. Good morning. On behalf of the entire State University of New York, I want to welcome you to the 2017 State of the University Address. Isn't this exciting? You know, every year we gather together in this theater to celebrate our accomplishments and chart the course for the next 12 months and beyond. This is the moment we have to harness and celebrate our systemness. We do it proudly with my colleagues on the Board of Trustees. These are the stalwart leaders who work tirelessly to steward the State University in the right direction. I want to thank every one of my colleagues, my fellow members of the Board of Trustees. Will you please stand so we can give them an applause for all that they do for us. We also do it alongside our talented cadre of college presidents. They're the army on the ground, ensuring the vision set forth today becomes reality across our 64 campuses. We are blessed to have such dedication at the helm of our institutions. Will all the presidents stand so we can acknowledge and thank them? And of course, we owe gratitude to our partners in government, Governor Cuomo, Lieutenant Governor Hochul, Speaker Hastie, Majority Leader Flanagan, and those who have joined us here today, including Albany Mayor Sheehan, Commissioner Elia from the State Education Department, Assemblymember Glick, and all of our state legislators. These public servants are truly champions for our system. We thank all of you. You know, today is bittersweet. While we still have another 6 months with our great chancellor, today marks her final opportunity to address this audience and map out her vision for what SUNY can achieve. As our state and our country enter a period of uncertainty following last week's election, I find our role more important than ever. We have a responsibility to provide the high-quality education that our children and citizens need to improve their lives and those of their neighbors. That's why today we should pause and appreciate all we have already done to strengthen our position. I could not be more thankful for having had the chance to serve as chairman alongside such a dynamic and effective leader as Chancellor Zimpher. Together, we've done some great things. Some of the board actions taken under her joint leadership include supporting the DREAM Act, encouraging greater transparency and accountability through SUNY Excel, addressing the stability of our hospitals, developing an incredibly effective policy on diversity, equity, and inclusion, moving that box which provides pre-admission inquiry into the prior felony convictions of college applicants, and of course, reinstating the board's Student Life Committee. These are just a small sampling of what we've accomplished and the issues we have faced together. I think each and every one of you here in this room are watching online, those watching online can agree that Nancy L. Zimpher has taken the State University of New York to the national stage and built the foundation it so desperately needed to succeed. Please join me in thanking her for all she has done and will do for SUNY. I am so inspired by how she has moved the dial for our campuses and for our students. Now, we have a student here with us today who not only advocates for the continued success of those efforts, but also keeps us on our toes. Mark Cohen is president of the SUNY Student Assembly and as such a voting member of our Board of Trustees. Mark received his bachelor's degree right here at the University of Albany last year and has continued on with graduate studies. He has done a phenomenal job thus far representing our 600,000 plus students. And I'm so pleased to introduce him and to bring him to speak to us, Trustee Mark Cohen.
Well, thank you, Chairman McCall and Chancellor Zimpher. As President of the Student Assembly and on behalf of the 600,000 students we represent from across the system, it is truly an honor and privilege to be here today and welcome all of you from across our great state. Thank you, Chairman McCall and my colleagues on the Board of Trustees for the incredible work that you do in making SUNY the best that it can be. Your service has helped lead SUNY through many challenges, and much of the credit for its success lies in your work. Please join me in thanking the chairman and our trustees for all that they do. We also appreciate our faculty, staff, and administrators always being focused on enhancing the student experience. Your presence here today shows your passion for our system. Join me in welcoming and thanking them. And most importantly, I want to thank the dozens of student leaders joining us from across our 64 campuses, including 2 former Student Assembly presidents, Tom Mastro and Lori Mold, members of my executive committee, student government presidents, vice presidents, student trustees, senators, and all student leaders. It is your voices that ensure students are heard and their needs are met at every level of college life. I'd like to ask all of you to stand and be recognized for your hard work, your selfless service, and the countless hours that you dedicate to improving the lives of your fellow students. Stand up. Every year during her State of the University address, Chancellor Zimpher sets a high bar for the university system, laying out an agenda that takes SUNY that much further than the year before. Students like me and my peers across the state are always at the center of her agenda. She is, and always has been, our champion. Today, I want us to show her, all of New York, and the world that we are reaping the rewards of the ambitious vision laid out on this stage year after year and carried out by trustees, presidents, faculty, and staff across SUNY, all for our benefit. Today, I am asking every SUNY student, all 600,000, to tell us their SUNY story in one tweet using hashtag SUNY completes. What difference has SUNY made in your life? Which program kept you in school? Tell us about your research, about your applied learning experiences, your favorite professor, or that advisor that helped you cross the finish line. I will go first as soon as I'm done here. Of course, we are here today to listen to somebody who, in so many ways, is the rock star of higher education in this country, Chancellor Nancy L. Zimpher. During her tenure as our chancellor, she has raised the profile of our system and its students. Together, we made it easier for our community college students to transfer on to 4-year colleges and universities. We advocated hand in hand to increase state funding, and we reimagined experiential learning for all students. With SUNY XLs, we expanded access, we bolstered completion, and we created tens of thousands of success stories, both in the classroom and the workplace. Together, we ended a long-standing discriminatory process and banned the box from college applications because we believe in second chances and a path forward. Truly, this has been a transformative time for the SUNY system, and yes, the Student Assembly. Chancellor Zimpher's dedication to shared governance has given students a well-deserved seat at the table and an important platform to ensure that our voices are heard. Now more than ever, we have the ability and the responsibility to think big, to bring higher education into modernity, and to educate and improve society on a level never seen before. Together, we will continue working to make SUNY more affordable and accessible. We will put issues of diversity, equity, inclusion at the forefront of dialogues. We will work harder than ever before to make sure that every student, regardless of identity or beliefs, can live and learn in safe, welcoming, and inclusive environments. And together, we will continue to make the best even better.
I want to welcome each and every one of you. I didn't get a chance to say hello individually, but I am well aware that you are in the room, and I thank our chair and our student government president both for welcoming you by constituency, by group. We are thrilled to have you. Mark Cohen follows a wonderful tradition. I'm delighted that Tom and Lori are in the room as well. I have had the absolute great privilege of working with the best student leaders on the planet, and Mark Cohen is best of best. He is an orator, he is a leader, he is tweeting right now. He is not listening to me. But Mark, I want to thank you for your leadership. There's so much more I could say about Chairman Carl McCall. He is really a visionary. He is a leader. He cares so deeply about the State University of New York, and what makes that really terrific for all of us is his commitment to public higher education. And I know you know that we couldn't have a better chair of our trustees and our wonderful trustees, our presidents, our students, our elected officials. I have to say to you, Mr. Chair, it has been my highest honor to serve as your chancellor. Thank you. Okay. We now need to get down to business. So here's my math. One big announcement of the power of SUNY in April of 2010, plus 7 annual updates takes us to this, my 6th State of the University address. Because this is my final address as chancellor, I can't help but think about SUNY and New York and where we started deep in the Great Recession and how we began our work together. From day one, at every campus and in every corner of the state, we listened to thousands of New Yorkers' hopes and concerns about their future. When would the economy recover? Could they continue to live and work in New York? Would they have a shot at a career that not only pays the bills but allows them to have a good life, to support a family, and to feel that what they do every day matters? From those many conversations, many of you remember, we built our plan for SUNY's future, and in doing so, how SUNY would help New York recover. We made it our business to know what New York needs and to find a way to provide it. I think it's fair to say that the power of SUNY has stuck. Our 6-point agenda to improve the quality of life for all New Yorkers, connecting education and economic development, bound together with the thread of SUNY's unwavering support to equity, diversity, and inclusion. Simply no one else does what SUNY can do. No one else matches our reach, our strength, our potential to educate more people and educate them better, to be New York's best economic engine, to push the boundaries of research and innovation, and to always figure out how to improve. This is who we are. This is the SUNY brand. It's more than a logo. It's our value proposition. It's our identity. It's our promise. So let me tell it to you this way. It's never been a secret that I am from and of the Ohio State University. Or should I say, the Ohio State University. No article in the English language has been so overinflated so successfully. So, if imitation is the finest form of flattery, I guess that makes us the State University of New York. Why not? We capitalize the T in everything we do, and for good reason. It shows singularity, it defines our character, and what we lift up for all to see. I never get tired of telling people that SUNY is the largest comprehensive public university system in the nation, what that means, and why it's special. Just look at the composition of our diverse sectors: doctoral, medical, comprehensive, tech-savvy, 30 community colleges who Joe Biden says carry the fate of the country's competitive capacity for the next 20 years. Just look at us. Again, why the? Because we cracked the code on a formula that reflects our biggest commitment to access plus completion equals success for every single student, every step of the way. A formula so elegant in its simplicity, but so very difficult to achieve. For years now, we've been telling you that access is our middle name. Our doors are wide open, but asking students to walk through those doors is harder than you think. For many students, navigating college financing is really a challenge, preventing them from ever even applying, let alone completing a degree. So to solve this problem, we built the best financial literacy tool in the country. Since we introduced SmartTrack, the number of SUNY students graduating with student loan debt is going down by 5% last year alone. Now, almost half of all SUNY students graduate debt-free. So, see the pattern here? We heard about a problem, we found a solution, and we have seen results. We also know that today's students need more flexibility. Instead of asking them to come to campus on a set schedule, we need to meet them where they are. So we built the largest online learning platform in the nation, and through Open SUNY, in the last 3 years, more than 320,000 students have taken online classes, and 8,000 have received a SUNY degree by taking the majority of their classes online. So that pattern, problem, solution, results, that's how we roll at the State University of New York. So if access opens doors, how do we keep every one of SUNY students working toward completion, the diploma and the degree? 8 years ago, we ran the numbers, saw that too many students were having trouble transferring within our own system. They were losing credits, which means time and money. They were dropping out without anything to show for it. Working together as a system, we built the best policy in the business to help students keep their momentum toward graduation. Seamless transfer, guaranteed credit transfer is finally a reality at SUNY. We have sets of courses guaranteed to transfer in more than 50 majors, and as a result, more SUNY students than ever are finishing their degrees. More than 96,000 completions a year, well on our way to that ambitious target of 150,000 degrees annually by 2025. There are so many ways to thread this completion needle at SUNY. We don't just stop at a single solution. We look at the data, we see what works, and we take what works to scale. Blow it up so the good stuff isn't just happening at one campus, but throughout our system. Like Finish in 4, there's a debate about who got to this among our colleges first. That's not a bad problem to have. Today, 6 of our schools have Finish in 4 compacts, and they work. At the University of Buffalo's first cohort, we graduated at a rate 26% above the national average. So dozens more of our campuses are now on board. Through Re-Enroll to Complete, we are reaching out to recently withdrawn students to avoid the greatest predictor of loan default, early college dropout. At Brockport, more than half the students contacted returned to campus. This year, 29 SUNY campuses will participate, with SUNY Plattsburgh leading the way. This is scale. We also have innovative campus partnerships like Start Now. If a student doesn't get accepted at SUNY Oswego, they have a place at Jefferson Community College. They start there, they earn credit, and then have guaranteed as a junior at Oswego. Turning a rejection letter from one campus into an acceptance at another keeps students in the SUNY pipeline. And similarly, Binghamton's Bridges to Baccalaureate transitions students from Broome and Corning community colleges to 4-year programs in the sciences. A whopping 95% of these students finish their degree, and we just need more programs just like that. Of course, one of our best scaled-up programs is, you guessed it, QuantWay, an innovative math pathway that gets struggling students ready for college-level coursework in half the time of traditional remediation. We started as a pilot of a few of our 100 students at Onondaga and Westchester Community College, and it will now soon be on 20 of our campuses, serving over 20,000 students. So what is the engine that helps us live up to our brand promise of taking what works to scale? Every one of the programs I have mentioned was expanded or replicated through SUNY's investment fund. When we started this incentive program in 2015, campus response was overwhelming. Thanks to Governor Cuomo and the legislature, we had $100 million to spend, and we got $500 million worth of ideas. With this kind of enthusiasm and creativity, what if we could say to our partners in business and philanthropy, here's an opportunity for you to help us increase completion, not on one campus, but on all of them. Imagine the impact that could have. So in the spirit of finding a problem, solving a problem, today I am proud to announce the formation of the State University of New York Impact Foundation. SUNY has never had anything like this, a system-level repository that allows us to actively seek private sector investment in programs proven to expand access, drive completion, and prepare students for success. We needed a way to engage funders who understand scale. Our promise to investors: send your money to the SUNY Impact Foundation, and we will allocate it to campuses who know how to move the dial. We've filed the papers, we've hired the experts, we are recruiting our board members, and yes, we are already soliciting investment to move the SUNY completion dial forward, and of course, your donations are welcome. Now, about success. What's special about the State University of New York is that we don't just worry about getting students in and getting them out. It's about success for the long term. This we know. Students want real-world work experience before they graduate. They want to learn by doing. And business owners and CEOs tell us this is a great idea, that they need fresh talent and that they're more likely to hire students who have an applied learning experience in college than those who don't. Here's what our good friend and partner at National Grid, CEO Ken Daly, has to say about applied learning.
This is a special time in our industry. We're bringing more and more renewables and clean energy onto the energy system. We'll be hiring new entrants into National Grid. So we saw this as a huge opportunity to handpick the best and brightest students, to train them on the skills they're going to need to work at National Grid. These students are getting an opportunity to get their foot in the door with entry-level jobs, but really what they're doing is they're building a career in bringing energy in the future to our customers. One of the programs we're very excited about is the partnership between National Grid, the gas company, and Farmingdale State College.
At the completion of the program, the students will receive a certificate of completion from the School of Engineering Technology at Farmingdale State College.
The hands-on training is a great benefit to the company and to the students. By providing them with the hands-on training, we as a company get to see where their skill sets lie, so we can direct them towards a career path that would be beneficial for them and for the company.
We've been here for almost 3 months now, and it's been a lot. I mean, just in that short period, we've had 24 classes, 3 days of hand-on, one of them being the test, so it's been a lot, but it'll all be worth it in the end.
We're really excited about this program with Farmingdale. In fact, it's a first of its kind for the natural gas industry. Our hope is that we can perfect it right here, downstate, and use it for our New York City and Long Island workforce. And then the opportunity is to replicate it and bring the same program to upstate New York.
This is the workforce of the future, and this is the workforce of Long Island.
At National Grid, we're bringing energy to life, and this is our future.
Wow. So, Kim Ireland is in the house, and you tell Kim that we gave him a big shout out, because this is exactly what we're talking about, an education pipeline that moves graduates from school right into a career. For some campuses, this is their bailiwick. This is SUNY Optometry. This is Maritime. This is FIT. But others are catching up. Last year, Cobleskill and Alfred State made applied learning a graduation requirement because they know, and we have the data to prove it, that opportunities like this can make all the difference in student success. Applied learning starts even earlier for students who do internships through IBM's P-TECH, which links high schools and SUNY community colleges to business. So as you think about P-TECH, look at Access, providing college-level courses at no cost to students and their families. Completion, where community colleges are granting associate's degrees to these students right out of high school. And Success, a willing business ready to hire you when it's all said and done. And this is exactly what we strive for. This is what ties our equation together. And let me put a bow on this "the" business. It is about our self-determination to stand for public higher education in New York. The State University of New York is within reach for every New Yorker, whether by traveling to campus or enrolling in an open SUNY course from anywhere in the world. The State University of New York leads all state research institutions, universities, and hospitals in research expenditures and operating startups. We rank among the nation's top patent-producing universities. And the State University of New York is the only university that serves every region of this great state, from Stony Brook to Buffalo, from Binghamton to Canton. As we so often say, look at a map of SUNY and you're looking at a map of the great Empire State. Oh, and by the way, you don't have to say the State University of New York. Just don't roll past it without remembering what it means. That said, let's look at the state in SUNY. Public higher education in the United States is what it is today because of the Morrill Land-Grant Act of 1862. A completely new vision for higher education in America that was all about strengthening our nation by improving the technical and mechanical growth of our states. For the first time, higher education wasn't only about learning theology or just for the elites. The Morrill Act recognized that more people would have better lives if they were better educated, no matter who they are, and that providing advanced education was a state responsibility. When the GI Bill passed nearly a century later, it was to support veterans who would soon be returning from World War II, needing new knowledge and skills to join the workforce. Those GIs needed to know that they could return to their home states and receive a great education at a public university. And thanks to our governor and our legislature, any returning veteran who chooses to live and learn in New York can pay resident tuition rates at SUNY and CUNY, the GI Bill on steroids. In the midst of the civil rights movement, Lyndon Johnson shepherded in the Higher Education Act and Pell Grants, which have advanced the education of literally generations. In its image, New York has charted its own course towards broader access. The State University of New York system, which was founded in 1948 to create educational opportunity for every New Yorker, whether they were returning from war or because they'd been shut out of private school or because of their last name or what they looked like or because their family couldn't afford it. SUNY was founded on the bedrock principles of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and 70 years later, this sacred promise is our North Star. And New York stepped up to the plate in providing financial aid. We created the Educational Opportunity Program, celebrating its 50th anniversary this year, and the Tuition Assistance Program, the most generous state financial aid program in the country. Thanks to TAP, federal Pell Grants, and scholarships provided by our campuses, half of all SUNY's resident undergraduate students attend tuition-free. is all a part of our responsibility as the State University of New York to make sure all students have a shot. Recent studies underscore that state universities deliver real mobility, providing affordable, high-quality opportunities that lift graduates into the middle class and beyond. Access to higher education, completing higher education matters. College graduates significantly out-earn people who stop out with the high school diploma. But higher education is about more than higher income. Mountains of evidence from around the world tell us that with more education, people are more likely to have better health habits, live longer, are less likely to rely on public assistance, they volunteer, and they make their communities a better place to live. Countries with more educated citizens have stronger economies, more stable governments, and an overall higher quality of life. Justin Morrill knew it over 150 years ago, and we live and breathe it today as the State University of New York. So if the state part of our name represents SUNY's obligation to opportunity, the university part tells the world what we do. Though we have changed the look of our brand over time, the sacred words of our university's seal still resonate: to learn, to search, to serve. These directives define how we operate and advance the triad of teaching, research, and service while providing expanded access to students from literally every walk of life. SUNY Potsdam, the oldest college in our system, celebrated its 200th anniversary last year. It has evolved from a teacher's college to a leader in creativity, applied learning, educational excellence. But perhaps most importantly, it is one of 16 SUNY campuses preparing teachers who teach the students who come to college, ready or not. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The number one in-school factor for student success is great teaching. So we're working with the State Education Department and partners across the state like never before to reinvent and to elevate the teaching profession. To inform this effort, Commissioner Mary Ellen Elia and I have traveled the state to meet educators. We've made 22 stops, speak-outs, workshops, and meetings with faculty, superintendents, and future teachers. And during this listening tour, we heard right from the teachers themselves, nearly 1,000 of them, about what they need in order to help their students thrive. Have a listen to what Mary Ellen and I learned.
Our Chancellor, Nancy Zimpher, is going around this state talking to stakeholders about the need to address the looming teacher shortage and improve the quality of the education that we are providing to teachers.
I started off as a high school dropout, and it wasn't until I recognized that education was the only thing that I had to obtain to actually get where I wanted to go.
I'm a math teacher. I learned with someone at a whiteboard or a chalkboard writing, and that's that. And I've been trying over the past couple of years to innovate that and do something different.
I could be one scientist, or I could be a teacher and I could raise hundreds.
You know, even my worst day working with children is better than my best day, you know, winning a case.
In those four walls, when you're teaching and those students are getting it, you might have to have those mandates that we all talk about and stuff, but when they're getting it and you see that their light bulbs going on and they're enjoying learning, and it's exactly what I've always wanted to do.
The last 5 years, we've been beat up. We've been beat up publicly. We've been beat up by parents, the community, in the press.
And I just don't feel like I'm valued. Thank goodness I have the kids, because they prove to me that I am a value.
I mean, I know that the state has come down with regulations, but I also know that you can find a way to tweak it, to make it fun, to make it exciting.
I feel that inspiration should be a big part of it, because inspiration is connected to learning, and that kids they learn more and they learn better when they're inspired to learn.
This is a great opportunity for us to support teachers more, to be thinking about what we can do to make sure that they have all of the resources that they need and the skills they need when they walk into our classrooms.
If people are better educated, they are healthier,
they are better citizens. They live a high-quality life. They are more engaged in the political process. I mean, I could go on and on about how education matters. And what matters most in the classroom is the quality of the teacher. So, Mary Ellen lived these teach-outs and workshops, so stand up so we can thank you for a wonderful partnership with the State Education Department. So, we have said over and over again, if New York students are going to come to college ready to succeed, then teaching as a profession needs this new playbook. So we are thrilled to be partners in Teach New York. So that's the first part of the university triad, teaching. Next up is research. The State University of New York Research Foundation is the largest, most comprehensive university-connected research foundation in the country. And SUNY faculty continue to lead research and innovation to help us live longer and better and keep us safe. In 2016, not only did we increase our investment in research and discovery to more than $920 million, but we modernized our patent policy so that we can collect more of the revenue generated by our patents. And the new policy gives maximum flexibility for university-industry partnerships, enabling us to do more and go further to solve the world's biggest challenges. We also celebrated the induction of 3 SUNY faculty members into the National Academy of Inventors from Binghamton, Buffalo, and Stony Brook. There are 757 fellows worldwide of the Academy of Inventors, 41 in New York State, and of those, we are proud to say that 12 are at SUNY, including our own provost, Alex Cartwright. Way to go, Alex. This is really just one of the markers of distinction of the outstanding contributions that our SUNY researchers make to New York and to the world. Also this year, our award-winning SUNY Press turned 50, continuing to push the boundaries of scholarship in history and the arts and sciences and literature, and producing absolutely top-notch work, so we congratulate you as well. Let me turn now to the final part of our founding triad, service. We never lose sight of the critical role SUNY campuses play in their cities and towns as the largest landowner and employer, and as the chief healthcare provider, and as the place where communities physically come together. As a lifelong partner in education, not just for 2 or 4 years, but from cradle to career. Today, SUNY is all about the seamless education pipeline. It defines how we plan, how we act, where we focus our resources, because waiting until students come to college to find out if they're ready simply doesn't work. Through our partnerships in community schools, in nearly 60 early college high schools with 800 master teachers and 7 cradle-to-career communities, just like our work, Mayor Sheehan with the Albany Promise, we are showing everyone what a 21st century university looks like. Universities today embrace a broader view of service than ever before and encompass a much wider range of programs and degrees than we could ever have imagined a generation ago. Let's be clear, when we say universities are a smart investment, when we say people need college to succeed in life, we mean all of this and more. It could be a badge, or a certificate, or a 2 or 4 year degree. It all stacks up for well-paying jobs. And guess what, folks? 12 years of school used to be enough. Today, it's 14 or 16 years or more. We are moving to universal higher education in the same way that we've been moving towards universal pre-K. Basic education is more complex than it was 30 or 50 years ago. There's a new starting line and there's a new finish line, and it's our job to help students get there. So back to the brand. The State University is New York's biggest, best laboratory for ideas and innovation. It's the place that, by virtue of the fact that we are a system, we can reach more people and improve more lives than any one college, public or private, can do on its own. Because of who we are and how we're built, we touch the lives of more than 3 million people every year. This is a huge responsibility. 1 in every 3 New Yorkers has a college degree earned at SUNY. And more often than you think, so did their parents, their siblings, and their children. Just admire the Weber family from New Paltz. Among them, they have 16 SUNY degrees from 11 SUNY campuses. We didn't want to disappoint you. Here with us today in the front row are the only 2 people more proud of this accomplishment than us, their parents, Arlene and Rob Weber. Arlene and Ron, please stand up. Yeah, there they are. Wow, that's all you can say. So this brings us to the New York in our name. After all, as I hear everywhere, we're New York. So as the State University of New York, the responsibility is on us to push boundaries, because if you do it in New York, other states will follow. You could say we have a history of making history. And building off the foundation of EOP and TAP, that's just what the Excelsior Scholarship will do. Governor Cuomo's proposal raises the eligibility threshold to make sure middle-income students and families can afford college without being overburdened by debt. It extends beyond community colleges to include our four-year institutions like nowhere else in the country. And it recognizes that zeroing in on access is not enough, that completion is key, insisting that awardees are enrolled full-time, because we know that makes them more likely to graduate on time. In fact, just putting the term tuition-free out there, that act alone will move the dial on access. For young people who've written college off because they assumed they couldn't afford it, they'll hear about this and they'll think, maybe college isn't out of my reach. The Excelsior Scholarship will capture the attention and kindle the hope of young people who didn't dare to dream of college, but now know that they can not only dream, they can try, and they can succeed. In New York, at the State University of New York, we have a place for you. Inspired by the governor's vision, we are taking things one step further. Right now, nearly 40% of New York's public high school students don't complete the free application for federal student aid, known as the FAFSA. That's more than 300,000 students and their families who never get a clear snapshot of what college will actually cost. Imagine thinking college isn't for you or your kid because it's too expensive, when in fact it's considerably less than you thought or could even be free. This is happening to families across New York State because they don't know they need to fill out the FAFSA to get access to most aid programs and scholarships, or because they simply can't figure out how to fill it out. As a result, New Yorkers leave $174 million of federal financial aid untapped each year. This is a problem, a big one, and SUNY can help. CEFCU President and CEO Michael Castellana and I have a big idea. SUNY and CEFCU will spread the word about FAFSA and host events for students and their parents to get help completing their forms. Together, we will move that FAFSA completion dial to 100%. Thank you, Michael Castellano. Where are you? Let us say thank you. There he is. Thank you, Michael. So this is just the kind of thing we do at SUNY, and with our partners, we think of every student even before they think of us. In service to our Empire State, this university is destined to be first. We are the backbone of every ambition the state has for its 21st century workforce, a green economy, urban revitalization, vibrant communities, and global impact. We must continue to lead, to be first in completion, first in inclusivity, first in research, first in teacher preparation, first in making good on the promise of public higher education, educating more people and educating them better. We have to see ourselves as the innovators for New York and the nation, and maybe even the world, because after all, we are the State University of New York. And by the way, we get things done the way we will continue to serve our students and our great state. And it's not by magic or sheer force of will. In education and in government, it's policy that makes a good idea real, that brings it to life, to scale. Figuring out how to get things done in a university system as complex as ours is perhaps SUNY's highest achievement of the last 8 years. Chairman McCall highlighted for you earlier the board policies we've made together. These achievements, many of them truly groundbreaking, were all accomplished using this clear and irrevocable process. It starts with a problem, an impetus, a specific challenge, like student safety, or something broader, like cross-registration. Someone calls for a solution. Our board, our campus presidents, our students, our faculty and staff, the governor, the legislature, sometimes it's a newspaper. We pull experts together, we consult with an advisory group to develop a policy framework. We solicit feedback, a broad vetting process to make sure that every office affected by a proposal has the chance to weigh in. And then we bring it to our Board of Trustees for action and share guidance on implementation with our campuses, including metrics for accountability. We did this in every one of the system-wide solutions that we have instituted to date to drive access, completion, success, inquiry, and engagement. This process works, and it will keep working as long as we stay committed to it. A problem, a solution, results. If we're going to keep refining our results, we also know that data matters. We've made progress in becoming a data-driven organization over the past few years, but we're not there yet. We need to up our game like never before. So every year within my State of the University address, when it's all been said and done, I try to create some kind of disruption to our work, setting audacious system-wide goals that have raised the bar in significant ways. You'll recall guaranteeing seamless transfer once and for all, putting an end to the need for remediation in our lifetime, creating credentialed workers for the jobs for New York's future. Embedded in these ideas is that SUNY is continuously adapting and improving, figuring out what our students and our state need, and then finding a way to provide it at scale. To this end, today I am announcing the formation of the SUNY Center for Systems Change, the embodiment of our aspiration to be the best at getting better. To do this, we must redouble our commitment to using data to drive our decision-making, to know which interventions are moving the dial and by how much and for whom, and then to apply these interventions generously across the system. Today, the concept of continuous improvement is catching on. It's filtering through our K-12 system, starting with a district outside Milwaukee that tracks just about everything you could imagine to better understand culture and performance. In healthcare, our own state Medicaid program has saved billions of dollars by making payments to healthcare providers based on patient outcomes. And I have personally engaged in this work through our national Cradle to Career initiative called Strive Together. 7 Cradle to Career sites in New York are about to engage in a tutorial to get better at continuously improving. And in higher education, the National Association of Systems Heads launched data-driven efforts across over 20 systems to increase completion. And of course, QuantWay, which you know plenty about, is a perfect example of this work. What's new is that, to my knowledge, no single system of public higher education has launched a training program to touch every campus in a truly collective effort to get better at getting better. We have to put our toes and maybe our whole leg into the water of continuous improvement. We've allocated that investment fund based on evidence of impact, and we've lifted up programs that are getting results. But we have not yet systematically prepared all our people, faculty, students, and staff who are the lifeblood of our system, to tackle these challenges more effectively. And if we don't prepare ourselves now, it will only get more difficult as technology races ahead. Of course, many questions remain about a center such as this. Is this the right structure? Where will it be housed? How will we draw on the best practices of our campuses? And of course, the million-dollar question, who will fund it? Well, we have to start somewhere. So SUNY System will draw up the concept, remember the process, put it out for review, particularly across our governance bodies and our campus leaders. We will work with our campuses to leverage their expertise. We will seek help in creating a train the trainers model for Open SUNY, and eventually credential this important work. And we will rely on our newly created SUNY Impact Foundation to attract private investment to this idea. We know that change requires not just a commitment to improve, but also to refining policies that enable improvement. So as we jumpstart continuous improvement at SUNY, we will also enhance our efforts in policy implementation and research. So I'm happy to announce that we will be expanding the Rockefeller Institute on Government, our own policy think tank. RIG has a long history of helping organizations, including state and local governments and universities, effectively navigate complex systems. So we think this is a perfect home for SUNY's new Center for Systems Change. All of this, thinking about what we do and how we do it, positions SUNY to be the best at getting better. At the very heart of the State University of New York's brand, we are the whole that is greater than the sum of its parts. That's what a good system is, and it's what systemness is. Simply, we do better together than we could do on our own. Together, we are undeniably effective and supremely powerful. How do you run 64 campuses? And I faithfully respond, I don't do it. We do it. It is our collective work, our hard work, that has made our university system more ready, more productive, more cohesive, more adaptable. We are more prepared than ever to take the challenges and changes we will face in the years to come. SUNY is not a command and control environment. A chancellor can have a big idea or 6, but you have to make your case to the board. You need to win the support of presidents and shared governance groups if you want to get anywhere. You need to get the governor and the legislature and the people of New York behind you. And even then, good ideas don't automatically make for good policy. But all of you in this room, you know how to do this work. You know what we need to do to keep moving forward. SUNY is really in good hands. We have steadfast and deliberate trustees, fearless and visionary presidents, brilliant and dedicated faculty and staff, students who are curious and passionate and hardworking and who keep their eye on the prize, alums who stay plugged in, who tell the world what a SUNY education meant to them and inspire tomorrow's students to join our family. Partners in all sectors who continue to work toward making SUNY always a more perfect system. You are the State University of New York. You are the whole that is greater than the sum of its parts. You are the engine that drives systemness. You are our future. Thank you.